Rumors are swirling in Beijing that Xi Jinping has been rushed to the hospital. Just as the party elders decided to abandon him, new allegations emerged. She is accused of embezzling 2 trillion yuan in defense funds. And in Australia, the scandal surrounding Yang Lanlan has exploded. She is now rumored to be his daughter. Under crushing pressure, Xi finds himself with no way out. Welcome back to Final War with Katherine Hu. In our last episode, we talked about how generals Zhang Youxia and Liu Yuan acted swiftly, using the ancient Chinese strategy of countering one stratagem with another. They turned Xi's planned September 3rd military parade into a stage to pressure Beijing's top leadership. As a result, the wavering party elders unanimously decided to abandon Xi. That means Xi's exit from the stage of Chinese politics is now within sight. At this moment, shocking news broke from Beijing. Xi Jinping had been rushed to the hospital, and emergency backup plans were already in place for the September 3rd parade. First, we'll examine whether this story holds water, and then turn to the widely circulated rumors about Xi's financial scandal of trillions in defense funds, and the mysterious car accident in Australia involving his supposed daughter, Yang Lanlan. Let me stress, today's topics are the hottest of the moment, closely tied to shifts in the Beijing authorities' power structure. But at this stage, we cannot guarantee the reliability of these sources. On August 15th, Hu Liren, a Shanghai businessman now living in the United States, claimed he had received word the previous evening, August 14th. That very day, 3 top medical specialists from Shanghai were urgently summoned to Beijing's 301 military hospital to consult on a patient of the highest political sensitivity. That patient, he said, was none other than Xi Jinping himself. We investigated this claim further. Xi's last public appearance in person was on July 24th, when he met European Council President Costa and European Commission President von der Leyen. Official media even published large color photos. His last official meeting was on July 30th, when he chaired the Politburo's monthly session. After that, China's top leadership entered the closed-door Beidaihe meeting, during which all senior officials vanished from public view. During the Beidaihe meetings, People's Daily did report that Xi spoke by phone with Brazilian President Lula on August 12th. That indirectly suggested his health was still stable at that point. But now, a full week after Beidaihe ended, Premier Li Qiang has already reappeared several times at major national events, while Xi remains out of sight. So if the report is accurate, that Shanghai specialists were rushed to Beijing on August 14th, it would mean Xi's health crisis most likely occurred that very day. This raises 2 key questions. 1. Is Xi really at the 301 military hospital in Beijing? 2. And if he is it purely for health reasons, or could there be other non-medical factors at play? First of all, we need to approach this with caution. Only by closely watching Xi's movements in the coming 2 weeks can we determine whether he is truly at the 301 hospital. As you all know, Xi Jinping's health is an issue of the highest sensitivity. 1 year ago, in July 2024, on the second day of the Beijing's 3rd plenary session, sudden rumors spread that Xi had suffered a stroke at the meeting. The session abruptly fell apart. Xi then disappeared for nearly 3 weeks, only resurfacing on August 19th to meet visiting Vietnamese General Secretary To Lâm. Photos from Vietnam's news agency showed an L-shaped scar on the lower right side of Xi's head, apparently from recent brain surgery, with hair around the incision not yet grown back. During Xi's incapacitation, the Beijing authorities experienced a pivotal power shift. General Zhang Youxia reclaimed the top military post. Xi's loyalist generals were purged, and the party elders returned to the stage, restoring a collective leadership model. In early June this year, according to intelligence leaked from Russian sources, Xi Jinping reportedly suffered multiple heart attacks between late May and early June. So if, just 2 months later, at a time when the Beijing meeting had already decided Xi must step down completely, his last hope of clinging to any post was crushed, then his dream of staging a comeback was gone for good. Such a blow would be enormous. Add to this the fact that summer is peak season for cardiovascular problems, and the chances of Xi suffering another heart or brain episode become very high. If that's the case, it may be difficult for him to reappear in public anytime soon. In fact, even the upcoming September 3rd military parade, whether he can still show up to give a speech, remains in doubt. On August 19th, former PLA Navy Lieutenant Commander Yao Cheng revealed on his YouTube program that, according to a friend inside Beijing's military compound, the parade command has already drawn up 3 contingency plans for the September 3rd parade. If necessary, the person reviewing the troops could be changed at the last minute. The specific arrangements are as follows. The first choice is Xi Jinping himself. The backup plan is that if Xi is unfit, Zhang Youxia will review the troops. And there's even a third plan. If neither of them is willing to cooperate, Chief of the Joint Staff Department, Liu Zhenli, may step forward to preside over the review. There were also rumors suggesting a split arrangement. Xi would stand on the Tiananmen rostrum to deliver a speech and accompany foreign guests, while Zhang Youxia inspected the troops. But Yao Cheng dismissed this as impossible. By established protocol, when both the chairman and vice chairman of the Central Military Commission are present, the parade commander always reports to the chairman. If the report were made to Zhang Youxia instead, leaving Xi sidelined on the balcony, the arrangement would make no sense. In any case, the next 2 weeks are critical. We'll be watching closely to see whether Xi reappears, and to further verify whether the rumor of him being hospitalized at the 301 military hospital is true. Behind all these questions lies the real issue. If Xi has indeed suffered another sudden health crisis, what would that mean for China's already volatile political landscape? Could it accelerate the transfer of power in Beijing? And is the future direction of China's political system about to turn a new page? At this very sensitive moment, overseas Chinese media dropped a thunderbolt. Shocking allegations that Xi Jinping embezzled 2 trillion yuan, the equivalent of $280 billion US. The claim comes from a speech by General Zhang Youxia, reportedly leaked by insiders in China to overseas circles. The speech bluntly accused Xi of embezzling and diverting around 2 trillion yuan in defense funds into private offshore accounts controlled by the Xi family. In the transcript, General Zhang spoke bluntly.
Comrade Xi Jinping's family controls roughly 2 trillion yuan in overseas assets. These include bank accounts, properties, stocks, and trust funds. wealth of such scale that it is absolutely impossible to accumulate through a general secretary's official salary and allowances. Even more distressing, these vast funds appear to have been diverted from the military budget. Around 2 trillion yuan of defense money has been siphoned overseas. Every penny in the military budget is squeezed from the national treasury, the blood and sweat of the people. Yet these funds have turned up in real estate investment projects in Australia and Thailand. This is by no means legitimate income.
Zhang Youxia went on to emphasize that the position of General Secretary is a sacred duty to serve the people. If Comrade Xi is mired in such grave corruption allegations, how can he continue to lead the party and the nation? The military demands discipline, and the party must demand it even more. If he cannot lead by example, then he should take responsibility and face the judgment of party discipline and the law. What does 2 trillion yuan mean? Let's put this into perspective. Since 2020, the Beijing regime's official annual defense budget has been around 1.5 trillion yuan. Outside observers widely believe the real figure is higher, closer to 2 to 3 trillion yuan. If Xi alone, or rather his family, embezzled 2 trillion yuan, that would mean siphoning off an average of 200 billion yuan in defense budget every year since he came to power. If General Zhang Youxia truly said these words openly inside the military, it would mean Xi has already lost any chance of a so-called dignified transition. In other words, he is just one step away from outright legal consequences, and from being sent to the prison in Xinjiang, the regime's notorious jail for disgraced leaders. We are still verifying the authenticity of this leaked speech, but one crucial detail it reveals appears to match another widely circulated rumor about Xi's alleged mysterious daughter. In the early hours of July 26, 2025, a 23-year-old Chinese woman named Yang Lan crashed her Rolls-Royce SUV head-on into a black Mercedes in Sydney's eastern suburbs. After briefly fleeing the scene, she returned and turned herself in. The incident triggered huge public interest because of Yang's mysterious background, unexplained wealth, and rumors of an astronomical bail. Online chatter claimed she paid 70 million Australian dollars for bail, and some even alleged she had deposits exceeding 270 billion Australian dollars, though none of this has been confirmed by authoritative sources. Recently, however, online leaks have gone further, alleging that Yang Lan's real name is Xi Minglan, and that she is Xi's rumored daughter. According to these claims, she was born around 2003 in Hangzhou. Her mother is said to be Jiang Yao, an actress with the Zhejiang Xiaobaihua Yue opera troupe. That same year, she was appointed governor and deputy party secretary of Zhejiang province. As for these revelations, I believe the content itself is not the real focus. What truly matters is that another new wave of exposure seems to have begun, tearing down Xi Jinping's carefully polished image as the supreme leader. Whether it is the financial scandal of defense funds or the truth about Yang Lan's identity, these leaks are most likely part of a fresh round of information warfare launched by anti-Xi forces. And the emphasis is now shifting from Xi's crimes of misruling and harming the nation to the corruption of the Xi family itself. On the surface, economic corruption scandals may seem less serious than, say, rumors of assassinations, like the case of Li Keqiang. But in reality, they are far more dangerous for Xi. Why? Because as party leader, Xi has always justified his major policy blunders as sacrifices to save the party, not for personal gain. Policy mistakes can bring political consequences, loss of power, forced retirement, yet still allow him to walk away, as Hua Guofeng once did. But corruption, especially on the scale of massive financial scandal, is the ultimate weapon. That road leads straight to the prison. It's not hard to see. Xi's opponents have already built an anti-Xi encirclement. Xi's downfall is inevitable. With his health in crisis and the military on the move, the Beijing authorities could descend into turmoil at any moment. The message is clear. Xi's grip on power is slipping, and the system is entering its final countdown. Get the real story behind the CCP's shifting power games and see where US-China relations are headed next. Support the vision of a new China without communism. Subscribe now and join us in bringing the truth to light.